Time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once. I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. How many people can we get to drop off the feed in the first 20 seconds? That's the question. That's the question that we have today, right? When I come in with a raspy voice and the inability to sing, and I start dropping Green Day first thing in the morning, that is basically, that's the question we got to ask. We got to be like, bro, how many people are you willing to lose in the first 20 seconds of a video? Don't ever do that again. Hey, we are in a series this week here on Rise and Grind. We are in a series called California Dreamin', where we are kind of breaking down the similarities between many of the things we know to be true or that we ultimately associate with the state of California, and then also how us chasing our dreams has a framework, just like many of the things do out there in California, right? The home for dreamers, where people go and pack up everything and chase the great American promise, right? And so we've been diving into that this week, and we're going to continue to do so today. We're also in the process of launching a 90-day challenge that is going to start this Friday. That if I've done a lot of challenges over the years. We've done a lot of things together as a community over the years, but this one is hitting different, and I'm super excited about it. So we'll share a little bit more about that here in a little bit. If you don't know who I am, my name is Glenn Lundy, husband to one, father to 9, owner at 800% Elite Automotive Club, and also a 2-time author and the host of this show, hashtag Rise and Grind. I am super glad that you are here with me today. Let's go.
Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to 1, a father
To 8.
and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Wednesday. That's right, today is Wednesday, a.k.a. CMA Day. That's right, Carter Myers Automotive Group, the most amazing automotive group on planet Earth, to where they actually own a day. They own a day of the week. You know how the NFL owns Sundays 17 weeks a year, right? NFL owns Sundays 17 weeks a year. They've got Monday Night Football. The NFL has done a great job and actually owns a day of the week, right? CMA is the same way. Carter Myers Automotive Group, ran by my friend Liza Borges. Liza Myers Borges. I don't know why I got that flipped up. Liza Myers Borges. They've got 25 stores now, 26 stores, I think, something like that, in and around the Virginia area. They're just an amazing organization. Over 1,400 people that work for that organization. Just super, super cool. And for years, I've had the opportunity to pour into them, work with them, grow with them, and just become really, really close with Liza. So we call Wednesday CMA Day. Today is also October 1st. That's right, today is October 1st, 2025. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. And so I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible day. Hey, check it out, man. It is, I always love the first day of a new month. I'm ingrained by the auto industry. Sometimes the things that excite us most are also can be associated with our greatest weakness, if that makes sense. Right? For those of you that don't know anything about the auto industry runs in 30-day windows. Simple as that. It always has. The manufacturer releases the incentives every 30 days. We do our payroll as far as commissions and things like that. That happens every 30 days. Our financial statement reviews, we're watching those financial statements every day, but we review them every 30 days. Everything's really 30 days. There's actually a saying in the auto industry, from hero to zero. Whereas yesterday you might have had, as a salesperson, 30 cars sold, 40 cars sold. Maybe you sold 50 cars. Maybe it's 20 cars for you, 15, whatever the number was. Today, you're at zero. So they say hero to zero. Now, here's something about that quote. One, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the saying hero to zero, right? Because first of all, did you really do anything heroic? Let's just go ahead and start there if we're being real. Did you do anything heroic last month to be called a hero? And then secondly, you're a zero? I'm going to call you a zero? That's my motivation for you October 1st is, hey, you're a zero now. Worthless. Zero value. You are at zero. Everything that you did last month, gone. Never to be brought to the table again, right? So I don't like this hero to zero thing. But at the same time, interestingly enough, I'm in love with the first day of the month. I just love a fresh start. It's ingrained in me after being in auto for 25, 26 years that there's something powerful to a fresh start. There's something powerful to a new day. There's something powerful to the first of the month. So here we are, Wednesday, CMA Day, October 1st, 2025. The first and last time it'll ever be. And you're here with me on hashtag Rise and Grind. And we're in a series called California Dreamin'. And in this series, we've been kind of touching on how this state that is known for things like Hollywood and known for its beaches and known for its sunsets and known for Silicon Valley and known for sequoia trees and just a place that people really like go and chase big things. And we've been paralleling how the framework, the intentionality, the design of California that attracts those dreamers can also be used for us to make sure that these dreams that we have, our goals, the things that we want to achieve, also have a framework. And yesterday, one of the things that we talked about as piece of that was that identity comes before performance. Now, I talked in Clubhouse a little bit after the show, and I got some messages later in the day. This was a big moment for a lot of people. You see, before you can perform, you've got to know who you are. You see, identity before performance. And that's really the foundation, right? The foundation of every real dream. If I just go out and do things, I can perform at the highest level, but that does not ultimately mean I'm going to land in a place where I feel purposeful. That doesn't mean I'm going to land in a place of joy. That doesn't mean I'm going to land in a place that I love. It just means that I'm doing the job, I'm doing the activity, I'm moving forward, which is important, right? Objects in motion stay in motion, but you've got to get down to your core and figure out, like, who am I? That way I can make sure that I'm taking actions that move me towards expanding who I am, not shrinking who I am. Right now in the Morning 5 Planner, which the Morning 5 Planner is what we use every day to do the Morning 5. 5 simple steps to an extraordinary life. It's a place where we write our gratitude. It's a place where we write our goals. It's a place that has a motivational quote at the top, which, by the way, we are still collecting quotes. Go to glennlundy.com/quotes, glennlundy.com/quotes, and submit your favorite quote. But also in that book, or in the planner, something that we also do is there's a book that we recommend every month, a book that we recommend you read every single month. And this month's book in October, I'm going to get the exact title because I just started it, but this month's book here in October, why can't I find it? Oh, because I pulled it up on Libby. Do you guys use Libby? Libby's an app where you can get audiobooks for free from the library. And so I use Libby. So right now the book is called Untamed, and it is by Glennon Doyle, right? Untamed by Glennon Doyle. And in a lot of ways, this is a challenging book for me to read. There are a lot of things that Glennon Doyle believes and aligns with that I don't necessarily believe and align with, right? She walks different than me. She talks different than me. And at the same time, the book is like super impactful, super powerful. And one of the very first stories early in the book that she refers to, she talks about a cheetah, right? She talks about how this cheetah was born in a zoo. And every day, what they do with this cheetah, every single day, is they have a dog and they have a cheetah that were raised together. And anything the dog does, the cheetah wants to do. And so they bring in a crowd of people and they show how a dog can chase a stuffed rabbit and get a treat at the end. And then they open the box and a cheetah chases a stuffed rabbit and it gets a juicy steak at the end, right? And then a little bit later, her daughter is asking the lady, like, is this cheetah happy? Does this cheetah miss the jungle? And the lady says, like, no, this cheetah doesn't know the jungle. This cheetah was born here in the zoo, and this cheetah's got an amazing life. It's got an amazing life. It gets to eat steak, and it gets to perform once a day, and all of these things, right? How you doing, Pastor Jeff? What's up, Allison Musanti? Great to see you. Robert Pollard, thanks for being here. Tanya Colquhoun, thanks for being in the building. So this cheetah, born in a zoo, born in a cage, life in a cage, steak every day. Is the cheetah happy? The trainer says, yeah, cheetah's happy. Cheetah's got a great life. Cheetah gets to eat steak every day. Cheetah's safer here than the cheetah is out in the jungle. And then a little bit later, the little girl and the mom are looking at the cheetah that's no longer on performance, and they see that the cheetah is just walking around the cage, or the edge of the cage, the fence, and looking out. And that the cheetah has much more poise when it's not performing, much more poise when it's looking for something more. And it's really fascinating because the takeaway that she shares that I could feel and align with, even though I don't align with a lot of the things that she talks about in the book, the thing that I can align with there in the beginning is, man, how many of us know that we are called to something more? How many of us stand with a different stance? How many of us, when we're gazing at that which we know we are called to, it brings out the jungle in us. It brings out our true nature. Like, how many of us are just going to work every day? How many of us are just showing up every day? How many are showing up in our relationships every day like a cheetah in a cage? Like a cheetah in a cage. You see, the cheetah knew who it was. Even though it had never seen a jungle, even though it had never tracked down prey, the cheetah knew at its core who it was, and knowing who it was gave it the desire to dream. Now, unfortunately and sadly, that cheetah will never get to experience this dream because it is locked in a cage and will, in its entire life, will be spent in that cage. However, the same doesn't have to be true for you. You don't have to stay in the cage. You don't have to sit on the sidelines looking over the fence going, hey, I know I'm called for that. I know I'm called for more, but it's safer here. And I've got my stake. And I've never been over there, and I don't know what I'm capable of over there, and it's kind of scary over there, so I'm going to stay right here. You don't have to stay in your cage. And that's really the call this week is like, bro, sister, like, look, man, these dreams were put on your heart for a reason. These dreams were put on your heart for a reason. There's intention and there's purpose, but don't just go about it all willy-nilly. What's the plan? What's the framework? Understand it. We're going to talk a little bit more about that today. I'm going to break down that framework. We went through one of the core principles yesterday of understanding that dreams are only fulfilled through design. There's got to be intention. We talked about the Golden Gate Bridge, if you remember. We talked about how it stands tall and has for decades on decades, not because of overall the idea or the dream of creating a bridge, but because of the intentionality behind the design. Because of the towers and the cables and the anchors, right? We talked about that intentionality of design, the work that was put into to dial in the blueprint, the idea that started as a dream but became a reality. And the same is going to be true for you. But we're going to dive into that a little bit more today. Before we do, though, we got to do some things on this show. I want this song. I haven't played it here on the show for a little while. Facebook's going to tag it. Facebook's going to tag it as soon as Facebook hears this song. It's going to tag it and say, hey, there's a little copyright thing. It's going to kind of hide our show. We're used to that. We've been dealing with this for years and years and years and years and years. Doesn't matter how much content we create. Doesn't matter how much content we put out. Doesn't matter. We get flagged, baby. And that's how I know. That's how I know we're making a difference, and that's how I know we're making an impact. And this song right here is a huge part of what makes us who we are. So for those of you that know, those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. All right? I need you to hit that share button because I believe with all of my heart that if we can help people change the way they start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you. Yeah, you to hit that share button. Somebody shared this into your feed one day, whether it be the algorithm itself or one of our friends and families. They shared it to you. Maybe they tagged you. They were thinking about you and they tagged you. And now here you are. You're starting every day with motivation, education, and inspiration. Do the same for someone else. Man, I look outside. I had a conversation with Heather Parody yesterday that was deep, man. We look at what's going on in the world, and I'm telling you, if we could just help people change the way they start their day, if everybody could start their day with a little bit of gratitude, if everybody could start their day tapping into the spiritual essence of who they are, if everybody could start their day California dreaming, and then lean in and take action, my gosh, what a difference the world would be. Oh, man, what a different place this would be. So listen, hit the share button, tag a friend, please, please, please. Also, this is the part of the show where I need you to say good morning to me, and I'm going to say good morning to you. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, make sure you say what's up. I'll say what's up back. 99% of our viewers watch this show on replay. 99%, all right? Though you're a 1%er. If you're here with me at 5:30 a.m., you are a 1%er. So whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up, and I'll say what's up back. Good morning, Renee Hayes. How are you? Great to see you. Sarah Green is in the building. How you doing, Sarah Green? Thanks for being here. Bella Rigby, I see her dancing across the stage. Thanks for being here, Miss Bella Rigby. I appreciate that. I also see Trisha Rue is in the building. How you doing, Trisha Rue? Thanks for being here. Mr. Mike Strong. Mike Strong is in the building. Thanks for being here, Mike Strong. Pastor Jeff and Rodney Rock Hatfield are both in the building today. Thanks for being here. We've got Elizabeth Stewart McDonald is in the building. How you doing, Elizabeth Stewart? Thanks for being here. Where's my guy from Portugal? I haven't seen my buddy from Portugal this week. He was on all last week. Jody Tibbs, thanks for being here this morning. Good morning. Great to see you. West Storm, thanks for being here. Liza Myers-Borges, who we talked about earlier, CMA Day. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Tanya Kokuhun, who I said hi to earlier, but I'm going to say hi again. Tony Thorstad is also in the building. Allison Musante, hope you're still here and sticking around. Dana Fishbein is in the building. Robert Pollard is in the building. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. And for those like my mom and Heather Parody, Kathy Camacho, all of you guys that watch the show on replay, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. All right, we are one day away from launch, or 2 days. Friday, we're launching a 90-day unrecognizable challenge. 90-day unrecognizable challenge. And I have asked you throughout the week, and if you're new here, I'm going to ask you to prayerfully think about one thing that you can add daily to your life, or one thing that you can remove from your life daily for 90 days. One thing that you would love to add to your life. Maybe you need to add painting to your life. Maybe you need to add playing guitar to your life. Maybe you need to add grace or forgiveness into your life. Maybe you need to get rid of bitterness. Maybe you need to eradicate anxiety. Maybe you need to get rid of a bad habit like smoking or eating or drugs or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Maybe there's something you need to remove, but that you would just love it. You're like, golly, man, I would just absolutely love it if I could get this out of my life. Or I would just absolutely love it if I could add this to my life. And so we're going to do the 90-day challenge where we're going to add or remove one thing that's going to make you unrecognizable going into 2026. What's up, Scott Simons from Croatia? Thanks for joining us, brother. One thing that you can add or remove that will make you unrecognizable in 2026, because the countdown has begun. We have 92 days until 2026. That's it, 92 days until 2026. And so I want you and me to go on a journey these last 90 days of the year so that we can become unrecognizable, so that we can go into 2026 with the momentum of that, and we can get a different result in 2026 than we got in 2025. Maybe 2025 was good. We want 2026 to be great. Maybe 2025 sucked. We want 2026 to be amazing. So let's not wait till 2026 to start making things happen. Let's start making things happen now. So listen, I want you to join me, and I want you to invite anyone that works for you, anyone that you have the opportunity to lead, any clubs or groups that you're in. It's very simple. All you have to do is say, hey, we're doing a 90-day add or takeaway challenge, and here's what we need you to do. Text the word 90-day or 90 days, no space, all right? It's just 90DAYS or 90DAY. Text that to 859-208-2351. Instructions will come Thursday afternoon. I will take the lead on this. I will take responsibility. I will hold people accountable. All you have to do is say, hey, join me in a 90-day challenge, and text the word 90 days, no spaces, to 859-208-2351. 51, and then I will take it from there. So today, if you haven't signed up for this, do it today. Don't wait till Friday. Now, prayerfully decide what you're going to add or remove. You can decide that. You have till tomorrow night to decide that. All right? But register now, and then I will send instructions out. We're going to have daily accountability. It's going to be amazing. You're going to pick one thing to add or remove. You're going to do it every day for 90 days. We're going to reflect daily on the whole process. We're going to share weekly of the process, and we'll have monthly milestones. Fair? All right, cool. Let's go. All right, I have talked a lot this morning without really getting into the meat and potatoes. So we've got to finish this, all right? So some core principles around California dreaming, all right, and how we turn our dreams into that. So we talked about the Golden Gate Bridge, standing because of design. We need design and intentionality when it comes to you actually reaching and achieving these dreams. First, we have to get clear on our identity, And then we've got to start making those moves in that direction. But here's what's interesting, right? Another California icon is the sequoia trees. And the sequoia trees, man, some of these giant, massive, incredible trees. Some of these trees are over 3,000 years old, and they grow to be over 300 feet tall. But here's what's wild. These massive trees that you see on the screen right now, their roots actually are not very deep. Like their roots don't go down very deep at all. They just kind of hang out at the surface. So you're like, wow, I've got this 300-foot tall sequoia tree, but the roots are very thin and very shallow. How is it that these trees have been able to stand up for 3,000 years? How is it that they've been able to withstand storms and fires and all the things that come out of California? And here's what's interesting. Instead of their roots going really deep, their roots spread out wide, and they intertwine with the roots of other trees. And by intertwining their roots with the roots of other trees, they create strength. Like, have you ever had, almost like a piece of paper, right? A piece of paper by itself, easy to tear. A stack of paper all together, you can't tear it unless you're like, Arnold Schwarzenegger tearing a phone book or something like that, right? Well, that's what these trees do, is they intertwine these thin, not deep roots with each other, and that allows them to survive fires, storms, earthquakes. Like all by themselves, the 300-foot tree would topple every time things got shaken up, but together they've been able to endure for 3,000 years. And see, this is a picture of your life. This is a picture of your dream, your manhood, your womanhood, your humanity. You see, you were not designed to stand isolated. You were designed to be intertwined. Listen, if you want to live an unrecognizable life, if you want to become unrecognizable, how you doing, Melinda? If you want to become unrecognizable, one of the biggest things is to know and understand that, don't try and do it alone. You see, your dreams will literally collapse. These dreams, visions that you have for yourself, they will collapse in isolation. Depression, burnout, temptation, these are all the things that literally thrive in isolation. But in connection, in community, in relationship, that's where you grow, bro. That's where you grow. Think about every great Hollywood, California story, right? Every great Hollywood story, there are a team of creatives that came together, right? Every great movie you've ever seen, whatever, right? There's a team, there's directors, there's producers, there's the actors, there's the set people, there's the lighting, there's the camera, there's the technology people, the sound engineers, right? There's a team. It's always a team of creatives. Think about Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is an innovation hub where people literally just move there to sit in the same coffee shops as other like-minded individuals. There are story after story of people moving to the state of California, not knowing a soul, sitting in a coffee shop and then running into Steve Jobs, sitting in a coffee shop and running into an Elon Musk, sitting in a coffee shop and running into somebody that ultimately gives them an opportunity, opens a door, and they become completely unrecognizable, right? If you even look at the gold rush of California, it wasn't just lone prospectors, right? It wasn't just one dude out there chiseling away that was pulling out all the gold. No, they built these towns, right? Towns sprung up, partnerships were formed, entire communities were built to go out and extract the gold, to fulfill, to live out the dream. Dreams are best in relationship. Dreams are best achieved in relationship. And manhood, womanhood, humanity, it all is a relational design. So just like the Golden Gate Bridge has its design, we have a relational design. You see, the world has this twisted right now. But men and women are not competitors. I'll say that again. Men and women are not competitors. They're complements. Friends and friend circles and all these experiences and travel and things that we can do with our friends, friends are not luxuries. Friends are lifelines. And listen, our families are not perfect. But when you can intertwine your roots, grab those roots of those children of yours, grab those roots of that spouse of yours, grab those roots of your mom, hi mom, grab those roots of your parents and your grandparents, grab those roots of the nieces and the nephews. When you start to grab all the roots, we call it Team Lundy around my house, but when you start to grab all of those roots, bro, there's so much strength. Doesn't matter how big your dream is or how big that vision is. It doesn't matter how hard it's going to be to achieve or how far you have to go or how much work you got to put in. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what storms come your way. It doesn't matter what fires come to try to burn it down. It doesn't matter what kind of disappointments or setbacks. It doesn't matter how many times you're worried about reading payroll or how many times you thought this opportunity was going to be the opportunity. It turns out not being, or how many times you get censored on Facebook for running what they call copyright music, even though it's your original song. Like, it doesn't matter. When you intertwine these roots, none of it matters, because ultimately you're here and you're strong enough and powerful enough to withstand anything life can throw at you. So listen, it was important to me that you really understand this, man. Because there's a twist to this. I think that a lot of us know our families are important. A lot of us know that, you know, this life isn't a solo sport, right? I think a lot of us know that. But I think what a lot of us miss is that your dreams, that thing that you're going to chase, that's not a solo act either. It was never meant to be. But there is a twist to this. You see, relationships only work when they're lived with design. Relationships only work, just like the Golden Gate Bridge. There has to be design behind who you're building the relationship with, why you're building that relationship. There have to be boundaries on those relationships, right? Like, there has to be clarity why that a relationship is important and how it adds to the overall picture. Without clarity, life becomes chaos. And so we're going to dive into that a little bit more tomorrow, how these relationships need to be structured in order for you to foundationally have that strength in the roots to be able to build and chase whatever California dream you've got on your mind and your heart today. So on that note, that's today's episode. I know I'm running over on time. This show's going to end up, I cannot let this show be an hour-long show. I mean, golly, it's hard enough to get people to watch for 30 minutes. But there's so much God has put on my heart lately to unpack. My friend Heather Parody, she asked me a question yesterday. She said, what is the message that you would want to get out to the world? And as leaders in a social media space, in today's day and age, what is our role and what is our responsibility? And I told her something that I meant. I was authentic and I was raw. And I thought about it and just chewed on it like kind of all night last night. Because, you know, when she asked me that question, I said, Heather, you know, what does it matter? Like, does it really even matter anymore? Right? The world is a little bit of a dark place, and people get censored, and you get kicked off of nighttime television if you say certain things, and you get unalived, right? You get unalived if you have conversations that are against what conversations people want you to have, right? And so it's like, man, what do you mean? What is our role and what is our responsibility? Like, what? Maybe we don't have a role. Maybe we just need to go ahead and take a back seat and let this whole thing play out, right? I kind of was feeling that way. Maybe some of you guys feel that way too. But I thought more about it, and if there's only one message, right, that I could deliver, if today was my last day, right, October 1st, 2025, I think I would just sum it up as saying, like, you are more than just your body. You are more than just your pain. You are more than just your trauma. You are more than just your cage that maybe you've been living in for a lifetime. You are more than just a steak dinner at the end of the day. You, my friend, you are a child of God. The God of the universe, the God that made everything, and that God made you to be the absolute best version of yourself you could possibly be. Not an average version, not a below average version, not an above average version, but the absolute best. And the only way, really, individually, for us to achieve that is not to look to the outside world to give us permission, not to look over the fence with fear and say, well, I don't belong over there, not to wait for something external, but to do the work to really understand who are you, and to walk in a knowing that you are the seeds of God, right? The God that made everything. And you are not your body. You are so expansive with so much ability to create and impact and change this world. The world, in many aspects, has become what it is because we continue to sit back, lock ourselves in the cage, and forget who we are. It's all designed for us to forget who we are. The way the systems are structured, the way the economics is structured, the way politics is structured, the way science is structured, it's all designed to make you feel small, to make you feel less than, to make you feel powerless. Gentleman said the other day, so NASA, and we're not going to go too deep in the weeds, I got to end this show, but NASA in Hebrew stands for to be deceived, right? That's what NASA stands for. And guy asked the other guy, he said, why would NASA want to deceive us? And the guy's response was powerful. He said, the best way to make someone a slave is to convince them that what they see with their own eyes is not true. I think you and I we can all see it with our own eyes, man. Evil is real. Satan is real. And in order for that to be true, if evil is real, if Satan is real, then the opposite of that must be real. God is real, and good is possible. But it can only happen through me and you, stepping into the expansiveness of who we are. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. Hashtag rise and grind, hashtag rise and grind. First thing on my mind, early in the morning time. Daily motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation, hashtag rise and grind, hashtag rise and grind, grind. motivation.